you know it's true. Ooh, I love you. Ding, 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 ding. I'm in love with you. All right. Welcome to the Tim Weichselbaum Show, episode 116. Alright, I guess this will be the beginning of the episode. I guess that is how I'm going to start. I'm going to start on a very enthusiastic introduction, followed by silence and doubted myself. Like, is that how you're going to start this? That is how we're going to start this. We're going to start this as I just put it, with a very nice intro, followed by silence. Let's do it again. Okay, well, let's start over. Okay, so this is the start of the Tim Weichselbaum Show, episode 116. It is episode 16. Let's start over. Come on, let's start over. All right, this is the episode. This is the beginning of the episode. Welcome, hello. Oh my God, I got a voice. How come this never happens to people on TV? I'm not even trying to do this. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to sound like Donald Duck. I can't stop it. All right. Seriously, though, this is the episode Tim Weichselbaum Show. This is the episode this is the start of the episode. All right, can we start over? This is the start of the episode. I messed up a word. Okay. This is the start of the episode. 116. This is the 116th. This is the 100. Okay, let's start it over. Hey. Okay, I'm not going to restart it. Everything I did is going to stay in the episode. I don't care how bad it looks. Because I said it twice, so now you know I really don't care how bad it looks. This is not a professional episode. This is not a professional show. Can we start? This is not a professional show, man. I don't care how bad it looks. I haven't even said anything yet. To be ashamed of. Haven't even said anything embarrassing to be ashamed of yet. So anyway, we're coming to you alive. We're not coming to you live as in live. We're coming to you alive as in I am coming to you. I'm currently alive while recording this. I thought that was important to include in the show. I thought that was important to disclaim or I thought that was important to include in the intro. We're coming to you alive. I'm not doing this after my death. This is not posthumous. This is while I was alive that I happened to record. This wasn't slapped together from the bits and pieces of something I did that was supposed to come out when I was alive, and then it was released posthumously. Now, this is being recorded as I'm alive. People have been asking if I'm alive, and I thought, okay, let's record a video to prove that I'm alive. But that could be from the past. That could have been when I was alive that I had recorded that, and I could have had done it, before I was dead. So, you don't know if I'm alive just because I'm recording this, but I'm alive. At the time of this recording, I'm currently present. In the present moment. Okay, let's start it over. Let's start the show welcome to, this is the real start of the show. Forget all that nonsense that you didn't hear because it was cut out. This is the start of 100 episode. 100 an episode. Yeah, great. Let's start over. Come on, we can start over. As many times as you want. Okay, so welcome to the show. This is episode 116, and the reason I'm talking like Joe Biden is because I also am suffering from late stage dementia. I'm old. Usually you get in your 70s. Okay, it's a little early. It's a little early for me to be getting dementia, but it's not really. It's not dementia. It's just that I appear to have a neurodegenerative disease, but I don't. It's just, I just don't know how to talk. And you would have this problem too if you had a microphone going into your head. It's not that I can't talk, it's that the microphone is feeding back what I'm saying into my head. So, I don't know why I need the headphones. I don't even need the headphones. Why do I have the stupid headphones? Okay, this is the start of the show. Welcome. It's 116th. Jesus Christ, I keep getting the grammar wrong. Okay, we're going to Okay, this is the start of the episode. This is the start of the episode. Can we start it? Okay, take away 6 minutes from the clock so you know when it's been an hour. When it's an hour and 6 minutes, that's when it's been an hour. For me, I'm already 6 minutes into this, but for the people watching, I had a lot of problems with starting the show, so we had to restart a lot of times. So welcome to the show. This is episode 116 of the show. Yeah, it's a show. Let's just call it a podumentary. It's a documentary, but it's a podcast, so it's not as good as a documentary. Spoiler. That's a spoiler alert. It's not going to be as good as a documentary because it's a podcast documenting nothing interesting. Usually a documentary is about something. This is not about anything, and it's a podumentary. And spoiler alert, I hate it when people say spoiler alert. Don't you hate that phrase? Spoiler alert? I am sick of that phrase, man. It's like, spoiler alert. And it's not even a spoiler. It's just somebody saying their stupid opinion. Spoiler alert, that looks ugly. Spoiler alert, you are not funny today. That's not a spoiler. What are you talking about? Spoiler alert. You didn't spoil anything. Spoiler alert. Can I get a sandwich? That's not a spoiler, man. Anyway, you could say I haven't done this in a while or done anything in a while. Based on how I'm not able to even form sentences. But you may be wondering, why the hell is this guy talking like this? Well, it's because I haven't done this in a while. I just said I haven't done this in a while, so I'm rusty. That's another thing I hate when people say I'm rusty. It's like, get a job then. Figure it out. What do you mean get off your lazy, oil yourself up then if you're, what are you, the Tin Man? That's what I'm going to say next time somebody says they're rusty. Well, what are you, the Tin Man? Here's some oil. And I'll get some olive oil from my kitchen or something if it's close by. I'm not going to drive all the way home. Let's just say I have oil. Let's just say I'm near a kitchen that has olive oil. I'll just, hypothetically speaking, it's not. I'll just say, hey, you need some olive oil for that shit? What do you mean you're rusty? What do you mean you're rusty? Why don't you oil yourself up then? I don't like that phrase. I don't like that term. I'm rusty. It's like such a hack. I'm rusty. It's like, no, you're not. You just suck. You just suck. That sounded very aggressive. So I said it again to make it sound like I wasn't serious, but I am serious. I'm a bitter, angry, aggressive person. I'm resentful towards individuals and groups and everything in between. I'm resentful towards couples, triplets, quadriplegics. I'm biased towards them. I'm biased against them, not towards them. I'm biased against quadriplegics, man. Okay. You don't really want to make fun of them. You don't really want to be hateful towards quadriplegics. That isn't a group that a lot of people could just get away with hating on, but they're not a group. There's not a group of them. They're not a group. They're just a bunch of individuals that happen to have had something bad happen to them. Actually, you know what? I do hate them. Fuck it. I will spread my hate. Not hate. I'm just going to share I'm not going to spread it. I'm not going to spread hate. I don't want it to propagate. I just want it to start and end right here. I want it to end here. Hate ends here. But at 1 second before that happens, before I end the hate, let's start hating quadriplegic. Don't you hate them? They get all the sympathy in the world. They get to try out this new technology that connects to their brain and lets them play video games all day without even touching anything. They just think and they get to play games just by having thoughts. Yeah, I would say as far as this, that I hate that. No. But in all seriousness, I do hate a lot of things in life. I hate a lot of people. I don't really hate them. I'm not going around with a hat with a logo on it to show my hate that I hate these people. But let's just say that there's a lot of individuals that I just don't care for. And you could even go as far as saying I don't like them. You could even go as far as saying I don't want to be associated with, I don't want to be in the same room as them. But that just bogs you down to be hateful like that. That just bogs you down. That just bogs you. It's not that I hate them. It's just that it's oh, you're here. You're here. Oh. That's how it was. That's how it is a lot if you go to a place that other people go. So I stopped doing that. Now I'm just a shut-in. Now I just stay at home. But it's a big enough home where I have many places I could go in the house. There's many levels to it. There's a bar area. There's recreational, there's a arcade. There's a place where there's just a ball pit that you could just swing into the ball pit. There's a pommel horse. There's a boxing ring if you ever just want to box somebody. If you don't want to box a person, there's robots you could box in this house. I'm exhausted right now. I have chronic fatigue. It's not diagnosed, but it's just where I wake up feeling like a piece of garbage, a pile of garbage, you could even say. So I'm not doing too good health-wise. I wake up feeling really bad. I don't feel like I slept. I feel like I just got punched in the face a bunch of times, my whole body. And then I just lay in bed and I wait about 6 hours. And then I go, okay, I'll do some work. And then I work on this iPad here. I work on a computer. Okay, let's start the show. So the reason we're gathered here today is to mourn the death of Dick Cheney. Yes, that's when this is being recorded. No, this was recorded after that was announced. I didn't know he was going to die. I didn't foresee his death. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I did not know he was going to die. This is not me recording before he died, just like it's not me recording after I'm dead. I'm recording this before I'm dead. Okay, so let's get into the episodes. So on the previous episodes, I talked more about science. Not really, just about bullshit that I pulled off of ChatGPT. That's not science. That's just drivel. That's just bullshit. But it's educational. Sure, it's not science, but you have to start somewhere. And I didn't get anywhere, but I started somewhere, but I didn't get anywhere after that. That's kind of how I am with a lot of things in life. Is like I'm good at starting things and then going nowhere later, nowhere after, then getting... That's a phrase that I'm sick of. That's a phrase that always brings me joy, is when somebody says, you going anywhere with this? Is this going to get you anywhere? Is this going places? No, I'm starting at a place, and that's it. I'm starting places. I'm not going anywhere. What do you mean? Am I going anywhere? Did that happen? Ever go anywhere? Did that project you started ever go anywhere? It's like, yeah. I went. Yeah, I'm successful. Yeah, it was a success. It's like, no, I started it and then I moved on. What are you talking about? You think I just do things continuously without getting sick of it, without considering a failure before I get it? No, I failed. What are you talking about? Did it go? No, I failed at what I was trying to do. What are you talking about? But, okay, now let's turn this around. Now that I'm fully awake, which I'm not, I feel like, okay, let's just pretend I'm awake. My jaw even hurts. My jaw literally hurts from talking for 2 minutes. Do I look happy, right? Do I look happy about that? My jaw hurts. So anyway, what I do for a living is none of your business. But let's just say I was in the mood to talk about that. Well, I would say, I don't know. I don't have a job. See, that's another reason I don't leave the house. Well, why would I? I got a ball pit. I got a grocery store connected to my house. I got now my arm hurts. Now my arm hurts just from holding up the tea. I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I just didn't take enough heroin or something. Heroin, they say not to take heroin. But, I'm not against you doing heroin. You could do heroin if you want. I'm not going to tell you not to do heroin. Do what you want. As long as it's not in my backyard, I don't care. I'm a NIMBY. I'm a nimble NIMBY. I'm not very nimble, but I'm a NIMBY though. I'm not nimble, but I'm a NIMBY. Not in my backyard, that's what that means. Not in my backyard. Not in my backyard. I don't like it when shit happens around my backyard, but thankfully I don't live in a place where anyone else does anything too bad. They don't really mess with my backyard too much. Okay, let's get serious, man. The episode before this, 2 episodes ago, I was talking about serious shit because I was doing fun things. I was doing things that were more, I wasn't getting anywhere. Let's not pretend I was getting places. No, I wasn't going anywhere, but I was learning a lot. I was like obsessed with learning about reality and how things work. But now that I kind of got over that, I just want to rest my jaw. This hurts. I'm not even in my 40s yet, and I already have this debilitating fatigue that only compounds through the years because of psychological baggage and lack of energy, lack of exercise. I don't know what it is. I don't take drugs that much. Even drugs wouldn't solve the problem. That would just help for like a few minutes and then you'd crash. I can't lift my arm up because that's too exhausting. Okay, so we will get through this. If you count all the false starts, we're 19 minutes into this bad boy. So anyway, the reason I quit everything that I've ever been proud of, that I've ever told anyone about, is because things they become heavy. The more you put into something, it doesn't get easier. No, it gets harder because you did it already. What do you want to do it again? I don't get how farmers live their lives being a farmer, the same job. Every day you're doing, you got not the same thing. Okay, I'm not that dumb. I'm not that ignorant. I'm not that naive of how farmers work. How farming works. I know that every day they're not doing the same thing. But they do have to do a lot of things over and over. They got to plow, they got to harvest, they got to sow, and they got to maintain their tractors and all these. They got to keep track of business expenses on top of it. They got to dig their tractor out of the mud after it rains and wash all these pigs and cattle and goats and account for them. They got to be accountants and farmers. So they got to be blue collar and white collar. They got to know how much they spent on all the seeds and all the rain, how much the lack of... They got to track all their finances is the point I'm making. Are you kidding me? And you're just alone on a farm. I'm not good at glamorizing this lifestyle because I'm doing the opposite. It's not very glamorous. So they live alone on a farm in the middle of the sticks. Why is it called the sticks? Because farms put up little stick fences. I don't know why it's called the sticks. But that's so lame, man. They gotta be their own accountants. They gotta write down on a piece of paper, okay, here's how much we spent on seeds. Okay, so we sold about 200,000 pounds of corn. We made a profit of negative $200,000. What the hell? So that's their line. Then okay, so Monsanto's is screwing us. John Deere doesn't let us fix our own tractors because the stupid software's locked. The hardware requires a licensed repairman. So I gotta go to some licensed repairman, a licensed John Deere repairman, and I don't live anywhere near anything. So they live in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows that they even exist. And they're just doing the most backbreaking work. On top of it, they gotta be accountants. I don't know what I'm complaining about. My life seems pretty good compared to this. But hey, maybe they get satisfaction out of that backbreaking labor. Maybe after they sell their corn for negative 200K, maybe they go, okay, at least that happened. What the hell? How do farmers not just all kill themselves the second they're alive? Dude, how do they not kill themselves in the first season of their farm life? How do you not see just a bunch of farmers hanging from trees anytime you drive into the country? I would immediately just kill myself if I was a farmer. If I was like, okay, so I'm a farmer. This is what I gotta do. I gotta drive back and forth, and then hope, and then kill, okay. And then hope there's enough rain. And hope I don't get screwed by Monsanto's. They have to be financial gurus. They have to use futures, or what's the other one? Not futures. The one that nobody uses anymore, but farmers. Commodities. They sell commodities. They buy... I forgot what they're called. I forgot what they're called. Futures is one thing I guess futures is one thing they do. They do futures, man. Because the soybeans might go down in value, but they want to make sure they get at least this much for their hard work. So these financial instruments were invented just to save farmers from killing themselves. If you ever see a farmer, which you don't because they live in a fucking farm, Hug them. Give them a hug. I don't know. Give them something, man. Give them a gun. Do something to make them feel better about their sad existence. But in all honesty, you do see them complain a lot. If you've ever heard from a farmer, they do say that, yeah, this sucks. I'm not making any money, and I'm a farmer, so that sucks. It's like, I don't got to explain why that sucks. Look what I got to do. I got to go in the sun. I got to put shit on the tractor. It's not fun. It's not like you just get to drive a tractor around and like, hey, look at all these animals. No, you got to actually kill them. You like, there's nothing fun about being a farmer. I'm sorry. I don't care if you think it's rewarding at the end of the day, if you get dopamine from it at the end of the, okay, job all well done. I could finally go to sleep. Nope. You don't get to finally go to sleep. You get to go to sleep, and then you wake up at 4 a.m. before the crack of dawn. Not at the crack of dawn. You wish you could wake up at the crack of dawn. No, before the crack of dawn. You're being a farmer. Day in, day out. The only thing worse than being a farmer is probably being an app developer. Ooh. Being a lone app developer, just making your own app with no help and no users, that you have no money coming in. You have no funding except for your own personal grit and sweat equity. And then you put it out and nobody cares. Not a single person cares about your app. That sounds bad. Okay, I'm getting exhausted. Have you ever seen anybody just get exhausted on their own podcast 2 minutes and they just have to take a rest? No, you don't see that. Well, there's a first time for everything, and I need a nap. Okay, I'm not gonna nap. That'd be cool if I could just take a nap while standing. I don't have that ability. If they made crutches, if they made braces that could just strap your legs into an upright position, it wouldn't be that hard. But then my waist, then I would just be slumped over. Yeah, like a heroin addict, like a fentanyl addict. Actually, now I'm understanding why people take fentanyl. That shit probably works. Like, okay, you get two birds with one stone. It kills the pain and it kills you. That's a pretty good deal. It only costs what, $40? $40, it kills all the pain and you're dead. That's a pretty good deal. And it gets you high first. So it gets you high, takes away your pain, and it kills you. No wonder people love it. Okay, not to be all positive. I don't want to make people barf with all a good, wholesome quantity feeling that I'm putting out, all those family values that I'm putting out here. But I happen to be a very positive person. Yeah, just because I'm going through a crisis, like a health, because I have a bunch of chronic conditions that lead to me being in pain for most of the day. I'm not, I'm complaining, but I'm not like a negative person. I'm happy for other people to live their lives and go places in life. Whenever I see somebody else make an app, and I don't know nothing about the app, but I see their Twitter on Twitter. If you go on X, you'll see people saying, okay, I made $300K this month from my app. My app is at $300K MRR. Whatever that means, monthly revenue. I don't know what the two R's mean. but it means monthly raw revenue, like revenue before expenses or whatevs, man. I hate those people. No, I don't hate them, but I hate them. Let's just be honest. There's nothing that I or anyone else gets out of seeing that bragging. Okay, I made 300K. And then you go and see what the app is, and it looks like the biggest piece of horse shit that is like, whoa. The world is not small. It is not a small world. If you have an app that looks that bullshit, that looks that niche, and that people apparently use, I don't know, man. I guess I'm angry because I am failing in life and as an app developer, but mostly in life. But no, I'm doing fine. But not in many ways. So let's just pick a side here. Let's pick a side. I started working on an app way more than that, about 8 months ago or something like that. Damn. Yeah, like 7, 8 months ago. So a long time ago. It's been incubating. But it's really more like it should be intubating. It should be dying from an intubator, like in COVID. They put people on the intubators and then they died. That's what I'm referencing. I don't even know what an intubator is. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Incubating. So anyway, I've been working on this app. I don't like talking about it. I don't like anything about it. I get, it's fun to build stuff, but not if the thing you're building has no legs to it. Like if it's just an app that just kind of is vomiting, it's just vomiting information. It's like, oh, I guess this is useful. No, that's not fun. So I'm being very toxic and honest and brutal and harsh, but somebody's got to tell the truth. This app that I'm working on called optionsaware.com, I don't recommend it. I don't know who the hell in their right mind. I'm not good at marketing, but I'm good at saying what sucks. I don't know who in their right mind would want to use this app. Sure, I use it because I am the one who made it. But even then, just because I made it doesn't mean I find it that good. Doesn't mean I use it. Doesn't mean the person who makes it is going to make... Okay, let's cut the bull. Let's cut the bullshit. It's not like it's a hopeless app. It's just that right now, to market it, it's not ready to be marketed. So I don't give a crap. I have nothing to lose by saying that, by throwing quivers and arrows or whatever you call it, by throwing arrows at this stupid app. Because just because I made it, just because I spent a lot of time on something, that doesn't mean it's my baby. I don't have that mindset of like, okay, I spent all these working hours, day in, day out, full-time effort for 7 months on a singular app, on one project. That means it's good. That means I have pride. That means I'm fragile if somebody says something negative about it. Oh, how could you say that about my app? No. I agree. Yeah, it's pretty garbagey. It's pretty garbagey. I wouldn't charge for this. It sucks. And I said that the last time I did this. I was like, okay, so I'm working on this app. It sucks. But if I keep working on it, it's like you're making it suck less and less. And that's not really happening because it's a vibe coded app. It's made by AI, so it sucks. It's always gonna suck. The code base is is like just bloated with all this legacy code that's just dangling, not connected to anything because it was vibe coded over. It just added more to the file. The AI, it's not it doesn't refactor the old code. It just adds all this. Ugh. I don't hate vibe coding because it is very fun, those first few prompts. But the second you get something complicated and you realize, okay, this is an actual code base with more than 10 files and there's a database, you're going to start realizing that AI has limitations and it's not clean. Anytime you add a feature, it adds like 100 lines. Anytime you do anything, it's like, okay, here's 100 new lines of code in the file, just added bloat and all this fallback logic. Oh my God, it adds all this, okay, if this doesn't work, here's the fallback block. And we'll just guess at what names of fields exist. Oh, if this field isn't right, we'll just do or this. So you only really know the frustration I'm talking about if you're a developer or if you've vibe coded anything. If you're a programmer, you definitely know what I'm talking about, and you definitely relate to the pain that I'm having in my whole body. So the app has many things that it does. It's a pretty complicated goddamn app, and that's not good. It doesn't really solve any problems. It creates problems, but I don't know if it solves any. It's called options aware because the goal is to make you aware of what options to trade. But a little thing about that is options are very complicated pieces of financial they're products. They're financial products and they're derivatives, which means they're derived from other instruments. They're abstractions that are built based on stocks. Stocks, everybody kind of understands kind of what stocks are, but stocks you can't just say are simple. Stocks are not simple because there's many different classes of shares, and companies could issue more shares and they could do splits. They could buy back their shares and that's about it. And companies could change their symbol and they could have multiple symbols at a time if they do a split. The options chain might correspond to a old symbol pre-split, so then you get the wrong prices if you're looking at the underline. And so to automate a system that understands all this, you need a lot of patience and logic and AI. You need AI to Google stuff. You need to use APIs with AI. This is boring. Not to all people. To me, it's boring, and I'm the one. I guess it's boring because I hate it. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, it's because I hate it. Yeah. I don't hate everything about it, but it's just not really going anywhere. Now, I'm being very pessimistic here, but actually I'm not. It could get better. I'm just being honest about the present. The present moment is a mess. So anyway, let's do the elevator pitch about this app. So the app is to get you to make it so you just know, okay, here's a good time to do an option trade. And that's it. That's the whole elevator pitch. I don't have an elevator pitch for this stupid thing. I wish I was working on something way more fun. This is like going back in time to before I ever had anything successful. This feels like a freaking desperate. It doesn't feel desperate, I guess, because if it was desperate, I'd probably be making something that people actually cared about. If I was desperate for users or for an app to actually go somewhere, I would actually care about marketing it maybe in a landing page. Woo! Dude, the prospect of this app becoming successful are so low. They're so low. Nobody's going to want to use this app. Okay, I'm being very negative. But that's been the whole episode, so why stop now? Okay, it's just a hassle. Because AI will do stuff. It's very good at specific things. It's like, wow, that would have taken me much longer in programming. But whenever you need to do something hard that takes creativity, it's not gonna work. It's not good at math. It's not good at problem solving in a way that humans could, that in a way that requires actual talent. So it just feels like I'm kind of imprisoned to work on this app until my bones disconnect from my joints and then turn into dust from friction. Anyway, so I'm not having a good time right now in life, and especially in my work life. Because that's all I have is my work life right now. And my jaw. At least I have a jaw. So anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about this if I don't want. I guess just because all there is to talk about. It's very difficult. So there's two strategies that the app is trying to help people with. And it's covered calls and CSP. And I can't even say it. Cash secured puts. And I shouldn't be doing this episode. I should not be recording right now because I do have a headache and my whole body hurts. And I don't want to stand. But I'm already pretty much halfway through. I'm more than halfway through. So let's just shit it out. Let's just churn it out. So, why am I talking about the technical details? Okay. I got nothing else to talk about, man. There's nothing. I mean, Dick Cheney, yeah, I had no reaction when I saw that he died. No reaction. I was like, yep. Okay. Yeah, I had no reaction to him dying. Just like I have no reaction to most things in life when, you know, I'm pretty much just on a dark... I'm pretty much just like waiting to die. That's pretty much my disposition right now. That's pretty much my attitude. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing bad. But you can't say that. When people ask you how you're doing, you can't just be like, yep, bad. You just have to be like, fine, yeah, not bad. No, it is bad. You can say bad, but it's awkward because then they go, oh, okay, shit. I wasn't actually asking. I was just giving you a heads up. I was just greeting you. I was just saying hi. Sorry to hear that you're doing bad. But that would be more refreshing if people actually did just say, yeah, you know, can't complain. Like they usually just say, I forgot. There's a thing that people say when they are doing bad, but they don't want to say that. They just say, ain't dead yet. I don't know. They just go, could be worse. I guess that's what you say. When you want to be polite and somebody asks how you're doing, you just say, It could be worse. It could be worse. Because nobody wants you to say good either. Nobody wants you to say that you're doing well. Nobody wants to hear from somebody that they're doing well. Why would you rub that in somebody's face? When I'm doing well, I don't go tell people, oh, I'm doing great right now. I mean, what the hell would I do that for? I like to tell people I'm doing bad so they feel better about themselves. That's the type of person I am. I'm generous. I've always been generous. Like, I'm working on this app that I'm not planning on selling to people. They could just have it. Anyway, the point of the app is to help you determine when it's a good time to sell options. Not just trade options, sell options. Because buying options, I don't know. I don't specialize in that. I'm not a general. The app is not about buying options. It's about selling them. And to master that, good luck. You can't. Nobody could master selling options. It's not something you can master. Everything changes over time. It's like any good strategy is going to stop being good after a while. If you have a really good algorithm that takes in inputs and uses machine learning to modify itself over time, even that will lose its edge because there's competition. I don't know, maybe it's possible to do well, to have a consistent strategy that's algorithmic, that beats the market consistently, but that still ain't mastering anything. You ain't mastering nothing. You can't master the ocean. It's like predicting weather. You can't predict the weather. You could estimate the weather. You could forecast the weather, but not with accurate precision, not with 100% precision. You can say, okay, there's going to be a cloud the shape of a dog, and it's going to dissipate at 3:15. You can't do that with the weather. It's too many variables, too many molecules with their own brains making their own decisions. The fluid dynamics of any dynamical system are just too complex to model with perfect accuracy. You could model it, but you can't predict it in nature. Thus is like the market. The market will always leave you guessing. It's like, I don't know, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know it was going to crash. So you could really only just react to the market. So my stupid app, I've been working on it for 7 months. So like it does a lot. Like it sends notifications when certain variables are met, like if stock prices change, when IV changes, implied volatility. When that's elevated, you kind of want to know on your favorite stocks, on stocks that you want to sell covered calls on. You want to know when the stock is elevated in IV, in volatility, implied volatility. That means it's a good time to sell options, but not necessarily. Not necessarily, because it could keep going. But it's still valuable. You still need a tool to tell you what's up. You can't just be checking the market all the time. You need an automated alert system to go to your phone to say, hey, idiot. Like, you need push notifications to say, hey, idiot, today's a good day to look at these stocks and see if it's a good time to sell CSPs or covered calls. Covered calls, yeah, it's on a stock you own. And with a cover, oh Jesus Christ, this is so with covered calls, even when I'm talking about something kind of educational, even then, I don't even want to do this. I don't want to just be some YouTuber who just teaches generic. Okay, but that's my niche. That's what I am specializing in right now. So with a covered call, you could buy into it anytime you want. You could buy 100 shares and sell a call in the exact same transaction. Some brokerages let you do that. They let you do multi-leg orders where you put in an order that is to buy 100 shares and to sell a call at the same at the same time. All or nothing. Either they all fill or they don't. So many brokerages allow you to do that. So, but the thing with covered calls is you'll make money up till the strike on the price. So you'll make money on the underlying appreciation up to the strike price, but not more than that. Besides the premium earned and the appreciation up to the strike price, the rest is you don't get it. So if it shoots up a lot, you will feel kind of dumb for not just holding the stock, because the covered call is a contract that obliges you to sell at the lower strike price. But if you are okay with that, then it could work out. Not this year. This year was not a good year for covered calls. If you only like doing covered calls and you don't like holding stocks, you're me. You're me right now. You feel bad. You feel FOMO. All I had to do was not sell all these stocks. Pretty much any stock that's anywhere in the close to the top in the S&P or anything to do with AI, they all went up. They went down, but then they all came back up. AMD, Nvidia, they all went up. Google. All I had to do was not sell. Even these crypto stocks, like these garbage, nonsense crypto stocks that nobody had any belief in, like IREN, IREN. That thing was at like $7. Now it's at like 100 or something. And they have a deal with Microsoft. Who the hell saw that coming? Well, I guess I kind of knew something about it because I owned a bunch. But I was just doing it for the premium, for the juicy premiums. I did not want to own these stocks. All these quantum stocks went up. Palantir, it was at like $7 a year or two ago. I was around. I had Palantir, but I was like, I don't want to hold Palantir. Yeah, it's probably going to go up. But I didn't hold on to it. I just did a stupid covered call. Could have made like 10x my money. But no, I had to do a covered call because options. It just adds complexity. But I still like doing covered calls because if you have enough shares, you won't mind if a few of them get called away. If your whole position gets called away, yeah, you're going to have massive FOMO. But if you have 5,000 shares of Palantir and only 1,000 of them get called away, okay, that's fine. That's the best ideal situation because you should sell some of them at the top when it's ridiculously priced and the PE ratio is absurd. So anyway, my app is a pipeline where it takes in all this market data. Every day it has all these different jobs that it has to do. It has to find new symbols. It has to check if they're optionable. It has to check what type of options are sold on these tickers, because some of them only trade monthly options. Some of them trade weekly options. Some of them trade daily. So it has to pull the fundamental data, the yearly high, the yearly low, and then the volatility. It has to know the at the money 30-day IV for every stock. And that's how it gauges volatility. And then it uses that to calculate IV rank and IV percentile. And then it uses a formula to rank those every trade. It determines all the viable options for covered calls and CSPs on the whole market. Every single symbol, it evaluates the options chain to see if it has viable options within a range of deltas. And it's like, okay, this one's viable. There's going to be about 100,000 of them every day. So it evaluates 100,000 option symbols every day. And it scores them using an algorithm. And it's using machine learning. But is it good? Is it something people would actually want? Is the score actually good? Like, would that actually give you a profit if you traded everything that it recommended? Well, I don't even know, because the back testing is not very good yet. It's just not clear. It's not easy to tell if it's good yet. So it's not very satisfying. It's very murky. And even if like recommending which options to sell based on a formula that's just kind of my own formula, that could get you in, like, is that even legal? Are you even allowed to do that? Like, yeah. No, you're not. You're not allowed to give financial advice or investment advice to random people. So you have to set it up in a way that it gets around that legal problem. You can't make it personalized. So there's about 1,000 headaches with this type of application. Of course, there's the expenses. I have to spend money to get the market data, and it's not enough market data, so I have to just get it from some place. And it's not viable to do what I'm doing. It's not going to last forever. It's probably going to be, I'm probably going to give up on it. I mean, I'll use it as a personal thing because I need notifications sent to me when there's opportunities. I need to be able to open those opportunities, to jump on them as soon as possible from my mobile phone, not on my computer. I don't want to have to log into my computer to open a new trade or to close a trade. So it automates trades. But can I market that to other people? No, because you can't just get access to other people's brokerages accounts. That was the original idea, was to let people set these automated trades, to these automated rules to manage existing trades in their brokerage accounts. But the brokerage has to give you access to other people's accounts. That isn't happening. They ain't letting me do that. I don't have access to the commercial API for Schwab. So it's not that. So I just okay, it'll just be for information, just read only, where they just get recommendations on options and alerts. Okay, so now you have something that's viable, but it's not as powerful as the original idea, so it has to shine in a way that makes it compete with other financial tools in the fintech industry. And I don't know if you could tell by my attitude during this podcast, but I don't really enjoy being in this industry. It's a very non-fun industry. I don't enjoy it. I kind of do, or else I wouldn't be doing it, but it's very grim. The prospect of this being a successful app is not good. Even if I did get users and I charged them $10 a month, they would probably tell me it sucks and be like, can you make it better? I would have to provide support, and I probably wouldn't answer them in time, and they'd be like, what the hell, this support sucks. They would leave bad reviews, and I would deserve them. I'd be like, yeah, you're right, this thing kind of sucks. Sorry, I'm the only one doing it. I don't have a support team. But The only reason I'm being so negative is really just because I feel like shit. I have a headache. What am I doing? I have a bad headache. My whole body aches. I feel like I'm withdrawing from heroin or something. Even though I'm not, it's just how I naturally am. And, okay. So the app is going fine. You know, it's bad. It's not fun. Working with AI to do everything isn't fun. Because it's stupid. It makes me angry just even thinking about how it recommends all this stuff. And it's not the right thing to do. Listening to AI on how to design a product is not smart. You should design the product yourself. And if you aren't qualified to make a product, AI is not going to make you qualified. What I'm doing is so out of my depths. But it works. You could sign up. Like it lets you sign up. You could log in. It has all those basic things. You could connect your Telegram account and use the Telegram bot to set up alerts. I guess you have to do that on the website, so that's not even true what I just said, but you could receive alerts on Telegram. You could do other stuff like check opportunities. Every day you get opportunities. You got to set your... you got to configure your settings, your preferences, your trading preferences, and then it sends you opportunities for these two strategies, covered calls and cash secured puts. And you press this button, this big purple button, and you get opportunities. And then you can look at the opportunities. It shows you all this information about the option, about the stock, and why it fits your preferences. There's even a little button you could press to get an AI analysis on that option, where it pulls up searches. It pulls up articles about the stock that are recent. It pulls up recent articles and gives a real-time analysis. And that's cool, except not really, because that's not how, it grades it. It is useful to get information on the stock and sentiment on the stock, but AI is not going to make a good prediction just on its own. You got to give it a rubric, and it's expensive. It costs like 2 cents every API. Single time you click that button, that's 2 cents. So if you do it 100 times, that's $2. And that'll cost a lot. If I had a bunch of users just clicking it all day, there's 100,000 opportunities a day. That would be too much. So maybe I just have to do it for stocks, not for individual options. But anyway, I guess if there's anything redeeming about this podcast is that if I do end up successful with this app, it'll be fun to look back on this episode a couple years later and being like, wow, I was in hell. I was living in hell. Because there's no encouragement to do this. Nobody's like giving me positive feedback. Nobody's like excited for it. Nobody's using it yet. I haven't invited people to use it yet. There's only about 80 people on the wait list, which is something, but that's coming from a place where I posted it with over 50,000 people subscribed from an old app, because I did have an app that was immediately successful that I got bored of, and that was dumb. So I had an app, which I've talked about from 2 years ago, 3 years ago now is when I ended it. It was immediately successful to the point where it was like scary. It was like I was nervous. I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I the only person in charge of this app that it's like 70,000 people use a day? I don't know. It just felt like too much for one person to be in charge of. Like, I was like, I need help. I don't know who's even qualified to help me that I would trust with access to the app, because I don't trust people generally. I would have needed to hire somebody that was as good at programming as me, if not better, probably better. Why would I hire somebody worse at programming than me? And I didn't want to do that because that costs like $100,000 a freaking year at least, if not a lot more. Unless you go to India, and that's like a lot cheaper, but they don't speak English very well. You kind of want to work with somebody that you can communicate with, not just somebody that you go, wait, what was that? What did you say? Can't understand you. American programmers are spoiled, man. They get paid like $300K just to show up. But now with AI, it's a lot harder to get a job as a programmer. I enjoy programming because it's like you get an output, you get an instant. It's like functional. It actually solves a problem. I like automation. That's why I like this app. This Options Aware app is all about automation. You could automate trades. But that doesn't mean it's a good idea to do that. Just because you can automate a trade doesn't mean you should. Let's say that this algorithm that I'm doing to get a score, let's just say it becomes high quality and can help you actually make money. Like a hedge fund. Like it just becomes a piece of software that allows you to have insider knowledge, not insider, but hedge fund level professional insights. Well, then I could sell it for a lot of money, but then something would happen. Something would cause it to not be good, because if everybody knows about it, the market adjusts and catches up with you. So it does feel like I'm chasing something that's impossible. Even if I do make something that produces a high quality scoring system that ranks the opportunities in a way that consistently makes people money, there's still too much variables to account for, like the management. When do you take profit? When do you stop the loss? When do you roll? How do you roll? Roll up, roll down. There's so many decisions and variables to account for. But I'm keeping it simple for now, just as if you held the option until expiration. So the only good thing I could see coming out of this podcast episode is if that actually goes somewhere and I become more successful. I mean, forget about the money. I'm going to be fine with money. I care about actually providing a product that other people like. That's what's valuable to me. Money, yeah, I could have more. But I know how to make money. That you could just do alone in a dark room. You don't need to impress anybody to make money. Just invest in the right thing. Palantir, that was an easy one. Google, that was an easy one to predict. It's pretty easy to predict what is going to be worth money in the future. Bitcoin, that was easy to predict. Dogecoin, I used an algorithm for that to predict that was undervalued 10 years ago. I was like, okay, so if Dogecoin, if there's ever another crypto boom, Dogecoin will probably go up to at least where it was before, and it crushed that. So I guess I do have some ability to just kind of predict the future. But do I need to toot my own? Do I care about that? No, that's not what this podcast is about. Like self-gratification? No, that was what the past episodes were about. Now, I'm a hard ass. I don't think I'm talented more than the average person. That type of thinking gets you nowhere. That type of thinking makes you start projects that are too ambitious. You know what? It is ambitious. It is too ambitious to do what I'm doing. So was that other project that led me to being able to buy my own house or whatever. To be able to become successful, that was a bad idea. That app that made it so I was able to buy my own house, that was just me being too ambitious, man. Handling the database with millions of transactions in the crypto space, handling a wallet that was responsible for over 1 million deposit addresses and private keys. I guess there's only one private key, but the private key was responsible for over 1 million deposit addresses. That was overwhelming, but I did it. Never got hacked. Nobody hacked my application and stole Bitcoin. They never got into the server. There was no exploits. There's a couple exploits, but I fixed them. I knew about them as soon as they happened because there were bugs that I was like, okay, there's a bug. There's definitely going to be bugs in any app. Nobody's above bugs. But I don't know. I don't really like talking about myself in a good light. Feels kind of gross. It doesn't help me. I prefer to just suffer and get no positive feedback and no reward. I'm just doing it for the pain of the game. Not the fun of the game. Not love of the game. I just kind of like suffering, and I like the feeling of my bones feeling like they're decrepit and being compressed. I like the feeling of having a headache all day that never goes away. I like going to sleep and waking up unrested as if nothing happened. I like having dreams all night and just being restless during the day. That's the life I chose. And I'm complaining to the world. I'm complaining to the camera and the microphone about it. I don't know. Maybe things will get better. Usually, I mean, hey, maybe I'll just... If I just became very wealthy and then just started getting massages every day and going to the beach, maybe becoming an alcoholic again, going back to alcohol, maybe then my life will improve. Quitting alcohol, let's talk about that. Let's end the episode on that. So I'm 4 years sober from alcohol. I'm still doing tons of other drugs, but from alcohol, that was my main drug. I was a big alcoholic. I was I was okay at it. I wasn't good at it, but it was fun. And it made me at least go out more. At least I had like some social life. Now I don't. So 4 years after alcohol, what changed? Well, I'm not drinking alcohol and I have zero life. I have no life. But at least my organs are slightly healthier and my skin looks healthier and I just look less unhealthy in general. I just look less like an alcoholic, I guess. Other than that, it's only been pain. It is hard. It's not like it's supposed to be easy to just go through life sober. I'm definitely going through life as in I'm getting older. Time is going by. The 4 years was not very long. And it was just a lot of learning about esoteric bullshit that pays a lot of money if you got hired to do it. But not all of it. Some of it doesn't pay anything. Like finance, yeah, that pays good money. And if you do own your own app, yeah, you'll make a few $1 million maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to make $1 million. I mean, it's just so far, it's just not even close to worth that right now. I don't know, man. I'm a realist. I think you need a good product before you can start thinking about money. And even then, the money comes slow. Just because it's a good product, it still takes a while for the reputation to hit. You need to have a good reputation as well as a good product. And that's the evil thing about private equity, is they buy the brand and then the product goes to shit because they just care about getting their money back, getting a return on their capital. Yeah. So the brand suffers while the product is garbage. That's not good capitalism. But anyway, yeah, I guess I could keep talking about shit I hate. Capitalism I don't hate. The free market I love. But what do you do about the bad things about capitalism? Like the fact that there's monopolies. What do you do about that? Nothing. There's nothing you can do about that. The fact that monopolies could just come in and outcompete. Is that a good thing? Well, I don't know, man. At least somebody's getting paid for it. If you have the highest quality product, it should be able to compete with big brands. But that isn't always how it works. Just because you have a good product doesn't mean you have the assembly line. Doesn't mean you have the marketing budget or the means to distribute that product. If I put out this great algorithm that lets you trade with profit, I still need to put it on a server that could handle the traffic, and it needs to be fast, and it can't be laggy. And getting market data costs a lot of money. They charge money for it. That's every business. Every business, there's going to be friction that you have to overcome. You just have to overcome the regulations, and then eventually it'll become easier because you'll have momentum and you'll have enough money coming in that it justifies all the friction. And then the branding is what makes it invincible. Once you have a solid brand and a loyal customer base, they will always use your product. Even after it's over, they'll still wonder, they'll be, what the hell, where'd it go? They want it to exist. The app that I started in 2018, I should not have ended. I was just kind of a pussy. I was like, it's too much for one person to handle. And yeah, it was. But then AI came out, and that would have made it easier because it would have told me how to do all these complex things and handle the millions of clicks, the millions of hits a day, and the hundreds of thousands of users using them, the legal ramifications, all that shit I could have dealt with. But I just like, you know what? I'd rather just be an investor. And that's the rest. The rest is history. Now it's not history. Don't care. It's not historical. I just rode into the sunset, started a podcast, and realized this sucks. I kind of wish I still had a job. I wish I still was doing something worthwhile to other people. If you're not doing anything worthwhile you could be making millions. But if it's just all going to you and you're the only benefactor, you're going to kind of feel like a piece of shit. Because once you know how wealth works, it's easy to stay wealthy. Once you're good at finance, and especially personal finance, once you're good at managing your own money, you're not going to ever go broke. I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's possible that something could happen that wipes out 95% of your net worth. But you're going to probably know how to maintain your wealth. Once you have it, it just gets easier and easier because of compounding. And then you figure out how to ride the market cycles and how to go against the market. You know when to sell, you know when to buy. So every market cycle, you just get richer and richer. Yeah, so am I doing it for the money? Hell no. I'm doing it for the satisfaction of putting out a product that people actually want. that solves a problem. So far, it's not there yet. But good things take time. Like this podcast, for example. Take that, for instance. I've been doing this for over 3 years. Has it ever gone anywhere? No. It gets about 12 views. It gets about 2 downloads per episode. Does that mean I'm giving up on it? No, because I know that in 30 years, people will dig this up to see what I was doing during this time in my life, because I wasn't talking to anyone else. I wasn't documenting it. No one else. There's no other way that it was being recorded. So this is like a time capsule to be like, oh, okay, so he was alive. He was doing something. Being a workaholic is my drug of choice. Hey, alcohol workaholic. It's perfect. Being a workaholic, it's not satisfying what I'm doing right now, but I could see it becoming satisfying if I switch to a different product. Options aware is basically just taking away my soul. And I can't even hold a coffee cup without getting pain. Okay, well, this is the worst episode I've ever done, but what can I say? I'm rusty. Spoiler alert, I'm rusty. Anyway, this has been episode 116 of the Tim Weisselbaum Show. Have a good rest of the week. Peace.